Hi, I'm Juniper, 37 years old, and I never imagined I'd be telling a story like this, but here I am, sharing something unbelievable. Buckle up, because this one's a wild ride. It all started on a sunny afternoon when my in-laws, Margaret and Julian, arrived at our home after their long-awaited vacation. They'd always dreamed of visiting the United States, and I was thrilled to host them. Since they lived in France, we didn't get to see them often, so I thought this would be a great opportunity to reconnect. From the family gatherings and our online chats, everything seemed fine, but I was completely wrong. I had no idea that behind their warm smiles, they were plotting something harmful for my daughter, Ashley, and me. It all started with what seemed like a typical greeting. "How's everything going?" "I'm doing well, Grandma." "Hi, Grandpa. How was the flight?" "It was exhausting. I'm beat. I could use a nap." "You should have a drink first. Relax a bit." "Ah, Juniper, you spoil me." "Hi, Mom." "Hi, Dad. I'm glad you made it safely." Yes, we're here, thank God." "Hey, speak English. You too. We want to understand too. This is your hint to brush up on your French, dear." At first, everything appeared just as it should, like a big happy family. But things were about to take a strange turn. You see, I married into a French family, embracing a new culture and language with my husband, Nicholas. While I wasn't fluent in French, I knew enough to sense when something was off. Margaret and Julian always acted warm when Nicholas was around, hiding their true feelings toward Ashley and me. It wasn't until my husband went to work that I started seeing their true colors. As a stay-at-home mom, I spent my days caring for the house and family, and with my in-laws visiting, I made sure to stay home to catch up with them. Ashley had just finished her first year of college and was back home for the summer. It was the perfect time for the two of us to bond with her grandparents. I hoped we'd have a joyful and memorable time together, filled with laughter and games. But after a few days, things started to feel off. Margaret and Julian began speaking in French all the time, deliberately leaving Ashley and me out of the conversation. We didn't say anything at first, trying to be respectful, but it started to bother us. One afternoon, Ashley asked, "Mom, why do they always speak in French now?" "Well, honey, it's just that French is what they're most comfortable with. We have to be understanding." "I get that, but it's happening all the time. I thought we were going to hang out and have fun together." "We will, sweetie. Let's give them time to adjust to being here. It must be overwhelming." "I guess you're right. It'll get better." "I know it will." We tried to brush it off, thinking it was just a small thing, but as days passed and their conversations grew colder when I entered the room, it became clear they were deliberately isolating us. It wasn't just a harmless quirk, they were keeping secrets, speaking privately in French. Ashley, feeling hurt and left out, just wanted to connect with her grandparents, but they made it incredibly hard. Determined to fix things, I suggested we play a game to bring us closer together. It was simple. Everyone would take turns telling two truths and one lie, and we'd guess which statement was the lie. "Oh, that sounds fun. A good way to get to know each other better," they said, at least at first. But to our surprise, Margaret and Julian weren't excited. They looked disinterested and a bit annoyed. Trying to salvage the moment, I asked them what they'd prefer to do. "I'd like to drink some tea and chat with my husband. Can Mom and I join?" "No, we just want some quiet time." We were all stunned. Then Julian quickly added, "No, dear, we just want to relax." "Oh, we understand. We're older, and these kinds of games might not be our thing. But you two never talk to us. You're always speaking in French. How dare you speak to us like that? Were you raised in a barn? How dare you speak to my daughter like that? She's just a kid. She wants to spend time with you. But you're making it so hard. How can you say something so rude?" "Whatever. Let's go." They stood up, grumbling in French, not bothering to hide their harsh words. I couldn't catch all of it, but their tone and body language told me enough. It wasn't friendly. I didn't want to tell Nicholas when he came home, afraid he'd notice the tension. Then, to our surprise, Margaret and Julian were suddenly all smiles, acting like nothing had happened. We went back to pretending we were one big, happy family, but Ashley and I couldn't shake the unease in our hearts. Days later, frustrated and suspicious, I decided to take action. while Margaret and Julian were chatting in the living room. I quietly reached for my phone and hit record. I was nervous but determined to find out what they were really saying. Over the next few days, I kept recording their conversations. I didn't understand all of it, but enough to catch some rude comments. I didn't know what to do with this evidence until I remembered Camille, my friend who spoke fluent French. She was from Sagal and had moved to the States as a child. Her parents had made sure she kept up with the language. I called her to come over, asking her to help me translate what I had recorded. When Camille heard the recordings, her face went pale. She started shaking. "Camille, what's wrong?" I can't breathe. Are you having a panic attack?" She was gasping for air, and I was terrified. I quickly helped her calm down, bringing her inside for water and getting her to lie down in the cool shade. I didn't want Margaret and Julian to know what had just happened. Ashley overheard the commotion and rushed downstairs. I explained everything to her, how I had secretly recorded her grandparents, and how Camille had reacted so strongly. We were all horrified by what we might find. When Camille finally calmed down, she apologized for her panic attack. "Don't apologize. You've done nothing wrong. What matters is you're safe now. Margaret and Julian are outside. So Ashley and I helped you upstairs. You really scared us, Camille, but I'm so relieved you're okay. I probably should have warned you about my anxiety attacks, but I didn't expect to hear such horrific news. Camille, what exactly did they say?" Camille took a slow breath and sipped some water before sharing what she had uncovered. "Juniper, Ashley, there's no easy way to say this. It looks like Margot and Julian are planning to. They want to sell Ashley to some very dangerous people." Ashley and I were left speechless, both of us stunned. "What are you talking about?" "That's not all. They said they were going to do the same to you, Juniper. They want to fake your deaths in a car crash and destroy the bodies so there's no trace left. They think they can make a fortune from Ashley because she's young." I feel nauseous. They were so cold about it, as if they didn't care about the kind of people they were selling you to. This is why I had a panic attack. I've never heard someone talk so casually about such a horrible crime. You both can take a break if you need to. This is a lot to digest. Why are you crying, Mom? Aren't you sick? Of course I am, but right now, all I feel is anger. They threatened you, Ashley, and for that, I will never forgive them. They said even worse things, but I'll spare us the details, for now. The weight of the situation hit all three of us, leaving us feeling terrified and disgusted. The realization that we'd been living under the same roof as criminals for a month was overwhelming. I was seething with anger, desperate to confront them, but Camille intervened. "June, I understand how you feel, but confronting them right now is too risky." "What do you mean? They just threatened my daughter." "I know, Juniper, but we can't just confront them without a plan. You're living with these people. Who knows what they might do if they think they're cornered?" "You're right. We have the upper hand since we know their plans. We can't lose that advantage. So, what's the next move?" "We're getting out of here." "What, really? Pack your things. Lock the door. Just in case. I'll do the same. Camille, help Ashley, and I'll call Nicholas." "All right. We'll be back when we're ready." Once they left the room, I couldn't hold back my tears. I was overwhelmed by everything I'd learned, but there was a sense of relief in knowing the truth. Even though it was painful, I quickly called Nicholas and filled him in on everything, the way his parents had treated us, the awful outbursts toward Ashley, and Camille's translations of the recordings. "I'm sure you'll get what I mean." Camille didn't share everything, but enough to know we're not safe here. "I'm taking Ashley to Camille's after we pack, but I had to tell you everything, even though it's a lot to process." "Yeah, that's a lot. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner about all the other stuff. I thought I could handle it. I didn't want to upset you." "Let me hear the recordings." "Okay, I'll send them to you." After we ended the call, I continued packing, keeping an eye on the window to check if Margot and Julian were still outside. Once I finished, Camille and Ashley returned. Just then, I got another call from Nicholas. His voice was filled with anger. "Who wouldn't be furious after finding out their parents are criminals?" he said. "We need to leave now. I'll meet you at Camille's place." We quietly got in the car, parked in the garage, and drove off. Margot and Julian saw us leaving and tried calling, but I ignored their calls. Once we reached Camille's house, I called the police and guided them to Margot and Julian's home. About half an hour later, Nicholas arrived at Camille's place. We hugged and cried, while Camille kept us updated on the police operation. The police had arrested Margot and Julian. Nicholas explained that, on his way to Camille's, he had stopped at the station to provide the evidence I sent them digitally. With that evidence, the police were able to act quickly, though we weren't there to witness it. I imagined Margot and Julian must have been shocked when the police raided our home. They were arrested without delay, facing serious charges. Once proud members of the community were now exposed as the criminals they were. News of their arrest spread quickly, leaving our neighbors and acquaintances in disbelief. The revelation of their involvement in human trafficking shattered their carefully constructed image of respectability. The legal process was tough, but the evidence I had gathered built a strong case. In court, the depth of their crimes was laid bare, and the jury didn't hesitate to find them guilty on multiple counts of human trafficking and conspiracy. As the judge handed down the sentence, there was a collective sense of relief. Margot and Julian, once respected by Nicholas, Ashley, and me, were facing long prison sentences and would also face trial in France, where the penalties for such crimes were harsher. With their ages, it was likely they would never see freedom again. They were a serious threat to our family, and it was ensured they would be kept far from society. Good riddance. Their arrest made national headlines, serving as a warning to others who believed they could escape justice. It was a triumph for justice and a reminder that no one is above the law. While the legal proceedings unfolded, Ashley, Nicholas, and I focused on healing and moving forward with our lives. The betrayal by Margot and Julian left deep scars, especially for Nicholas, but we stuck together, supporting one another as we worked through the aftermath of their arrest and the trauma we had experienced. Our bond had only grown stronger through it all. Ashley, how are you doing now? You've shown such incredible strength through everything, I asked, breaking the silence in the room. Ashley paused, taking a moment to collect her thoughts before responding. Her eyes filled with a mix of strength and vulnerability. Honestly, Mom, some days are still hard, but overall, I'm doing better. Therapy has been a huge help, and expressing myself through art has been healing. I still have moments of fear and doubt, but I'm learning to manage them. Nicholas gently squeezed Ashley's hand. We're so proud of you, Ashley. You've handled this with so much courage and grace. We're here for you, always. I nodded, my heart swelling with pride and love for my daughter. Yes, Ashley, we're here for you, every step of the way. We've come so far, but there's still healing to be done. Let's continue supporting one another and move forward together. With renewed determination, we embraced the challenges ahead, knowing that as a family, we could face anything. It hasn't been easy, Mom, but I'm making progress. Art has become my sanctuary, a way to process and release the pain, and therapy is helping me see things in a new light, helping me trust again. We're so proud of you, Ashley. Your strength inspires us every day. We're always here for you. That's right, sweetheart. We're in this together, lifting each other up as we move forward. We've come a long way, and our future is looking brighter. Thank you both. I don't know where I'd be without your love and support. We faced so many challenges, but we've come out stronger. Now, we have a chance to take back our lives and make a real difference. Absolutely, my love. We faced the darkest times, but we've come out stronger than ever. We won't let anyone's actions define us. Together, we'll build a future full of love, joy, and fulfillment. We're a family, unbreakable. We've proven that. Let's continue to support each other, heal, and create the life we deserve. We're stronger than ever, and we'll embrace every opportunity. Our conversation, filled with a range of emotions, from past hurt to hopeful anticipation, ushered in a new chapter for us. As we continued our journey, we found comfort in one another, knowing we could overcome anything together and build a life full of love and happiness. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in the next video. Stay stunned.